A little story with a big lesson. Sometimes a small idea can have a profound impact. Promise me you'll reflect deeply while reading this. In a vast forest, there was a young oak tree named LL had lived in the forest since its early days, surrounded by towering, majestic trees with thick, lush branches. Despite not being as tall as them, L had always worked hard to grow, hoping that one day it could be part of the forest, just like the others. However, life didn't offer L many chances. Every time it stood tall, ready to grow upwards, a fierce wind would come, bending its branches in all directions. In winter, L hoped to bear fruit, but the harsh snowstorm weighed its branches down. Each time L tried, all it received in return were more setbacks and hardships. One day, an unexpected storm swept across the forest. The great trees, with their deep roots, stood firm despite the storm's impact. But L's roots, though not weak, were torn from the soil by the intensity of the wind, and some of its strongest branches broke. In that moment, L felt an unprecedented pain. It looked at the other trees and was overwhelmed with a sense of helplessness and despair. After the storm, L's branches never grew back to their original height. It swayed in the wind each day, suffering from its own fragility, feeling that it would never be able to stand tall like the other trees. Until one day, an old crow flew to L's branch. The crow saw the young tree's drooping branches and the pain in its eyes, and stopped to ask gently, "Why are you so sad?" L replied, "I've tried, but I always fail. Every time there's a storm, I'm knocked down, and I don't have the strength to try again." The crow silently observed for a moment, then said, "Have you ever heard the story of the last seed?" L shook its head. In a faraway place, there was a tiny seed, just like you, that faced many struggles and challenges. It was blown off the soil by fierce winds, drowned in torrential rains, and nearly withered in drought. But every time it took root again, because it knew that if it didn't try again, it would never know if it could become a towering tree. Eventually, after another storm, that seed found itself surprisingly strong, able to stand firm in the strongest winds and embrace the sun through the cold. It no longer feared the storms, for it understood that storms were part of its growth. After hearing this story, L sat quietly for a moment, gazing up at the vast sky. It imagined that if it, too, could rise again after each failure, perhaps one day it would grow stronger. "Are you saying I shouldn't give up?" L asked. The crow nodded. "Yes, just like that seed, you can only understand your true strength after countless setbacks and failures. Every blow is an opportunity to grow. Don't stop trying because you're afraid of failing, because failure is part of success." L took a deep breath, and a flicker of light returned to its eyes. Though it knew the future would still be filled with challenges, it no longer feared them. It began to find its rhythm in the wind. Though its branches were still bent, it was no longer afraid of the storm. And so, L slowly regained its strength, taking root once again in the earth. It understood that only by going through countless challenges and setbacks could it truly understand the meaning of life. And every time it stood up, it was a step toward the future. This story teaches us. Sometimes, we feel discouraged by one failure after another, and we lose the courage to try again. But just like L, the oak tree, growth often comes with failure and pain. Every fall is an opportunity to gather strength. Only by relentlessly standing up again can we discover our true potential. Every failure in life is an opportunity to grow. Don't give up trying because you fear the blows, because it's only through the storms that we can grow strong under the sun. Thank you all for watching and supporting. If you enjoyed this story and found it inspiring, please give it a like. If you want to see more stories, please subscribe to my channel. See you next time.